Imagine waking up in the heart of Washington, D.C., only to see the largest retailer in American history facing an exodus, and like anything seen before. Walmart, the symbol of U.S. economic power, the pride of American consumer culture, suddenly finds its parking lots empty, its sales collapsing, and its executives scrambling for answers. Now imagine that this exodus isn't happening because of a boycott, a pandemic, or a supply chain crisis. It is happening because millions of people are no longer convinced that Walmart is the future. They have found a better alternative, and that alternative is Africa. Yes, you heard that right, Africa. The continent once dismissed as too poor, too unstable, too dependent. Today, Africa is rising with a vengeance, and it is taking the global market by storm. From Accra to Addis Ababa, Lagos to Nairobi, African entrepreneurs are not just selling goods. They are rewriting the rules of global trade. They are producing higher quality products, building world-class logistics systems, and creating digital platforms that bypass the very middlemen that used to control global commerce. This is why millions are walking away from Walmart and other US retail giants. They are tired of inflated prices, tired of poor quality, tired of being told what they can buy and at what price. African markets, by contrast, are offering something revolutionary. Direct trade, fair prices, cultural authenticity, and innovation. And consumers are voting with their wallets. This is no small shift. This is a seismic, a once-in-a-century realignment of global economic power. For decades, America built its wealth by controlling global supply chain. Walmart was the crown jewel of that strategy, using its massive purchasing power to dictate prices, control markets, and squeeze suppliers worldwide. But today, that model is collapsing. African nations are refusing to play the old game. They are building their own processing plants, their own distribution networks, and their own e-commerce platforms. And for the first time in history, they are keeping profits on African soil. Picture this. Ghanaian cocoa, no longer shipped to Europe or America, but processed in state-of-the-art factories in Kumasi and Accra, turned into premium chocolate that sells in Dubai, Tokyo, and London, bypassing American retailers entirely. Nigerian textiles no longer exported as cheap cotton, but turned into fashion brands that dominate international runways. Kenyan avocados, Tanzanian cashews, South African wines, all moving through African-controlled supply chains that lock US middlemen out. And the numbers are staggering in just the past 3 years. African exports of value-added goods have skyrocketed by over 60%. For indirect investment into African manufacturing hubs has broken records. The African Continental Free Trade Area is creating the largest single market on Earth, with 1.4 billion people trading with each other and the world on their own terms. This is what Washington fears, and what Walmart cannot stop. Because this is not just about goods and services. This is about influence, about who sets the rules of the global economy. And right now, the rules are being rewritten in Africa. The US government is already panicked. Lawmakers are calling emergency here. Think tanks are publishing frantic reports, and corporate lobbyists are begging for new trade deals to regain access to African market. But it may be too late. Africa has options now. China, India, Russia, Brazil, and it is using them strategically to build leverage. This is why millions leaving Walmart is such a big deal. Because it's not just a story about where people shop, it's a story about where the world is headed.